Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Thank you so much for your previous likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, why not click on that button and ring the bell so you can get notifications of whenever I'm dropping content on the channel. And now onto the topic of this video, and today I'm going to be talking about the Garrison Base. So just before we go into that, I just want to talk about Reign of Chaos Total War. So from seasons 1 to 3 we have different gameplay elements entering into Reign of Chaos Total War. In season 1 obviously you have your alliance centers, your honor buildings, you learn the basics about truce times, completing the wars, etc. Then when we get to S2 we have the destroyer shout enter into the gameplay, where the Alliance Guardian can launch that and try and claim a piece of territory close to your enemy's AC in a strategic location. And then when you reach S3 you get the Garrison Base become available as an additional gameplay mechanic for Reign of Chaos. So this is just for S3, and for those of us now in SX9, we've also now had the Reign of Chaos Total War game mechanic come back instead of a normal Eden season, and the seasons are the same as what we experienced in S3. So let's talk about the Garrison Base. So first off, how many Garrison Bases will you have? Well, you will get a Garrison Base for each alliance center that you have unlocked. The next thing to think about is how can you actually use them. So you will get one member of your alliance allocated to the garrison, each garrison base. Now to do that, only the alliance leader and the overseer can allocate a player from your alliance into a garrison base. So if we're going to see how to do that, you would need to click on the corresponding alliance center that you're wanting to add a player to, and you're going to have to click on details. So if we just click on details now, you can see that at AC1 I have a coalition leader, and that is Pond Farm 2. So this is the player, the account that is in charge of the Garrison Base linked to Alliance Center 1. And then this little icon here will allow you to actually select a different player, or to select a different player. So let's just go to Alliance Center 2, click on View Details, and then you can see that if there is no coalition present, it will say coalition no, and this icon is going to be nice and sparkly. So you click on the icon, and then it gives you the list of players in your alliance, broken down by their ranking. So we are going to make Ponchuka, one of my account and other accounts, be the garrison, the coalition master or garrison base master for the AC2 garrison base. So all you want to do is click appointment, and that appointment is now successful, and Ponchuka will have the ability to use the garrison base. If you want to remove the garrison base from him, you just click on relieve, and then you can click appointment to a different player. Often, you know, you're going to want to have the garrison bases allocated to players that are very active in your alliance. And now let's talk about why you're going to want to do that. So what is actually, once you've allocated 4 players, your 4 garrison bases, if you've got all 4 ACs unlocked, what are you going to use them for? Well, they have kind of 2 primary functions. One, just to look at, if you look at the image above me, you can see that the garrison base actually takes a 3x3 tile space, and this is counted as tiles with your alliance. You can use these garrison bases to move around the map and link tiles that might be hard to get to. It allows you to save stamina in your bases, because those of you that are using them, because obviously during Reign of Chaos, stamina is absolutely key to what you're doing. You only have limited stamina every day, and obviously stamina does refresh slower than if we were in Eden maps for players that have played S4 and beyond. Now the other function is actually as kind of like a reserve army for you. So for Total War, obviously we have the truce settings in our menu. So if we go into Reign of Chaos menu, go to season, you can see Alliance Intel, and we have a truce timer. So you can set a truce timer so that during a truce, alliances cannot declare war and cannot be declared war upon. Now this only covers 8 hours of the 24-hour day, and most alliances will either set it between reset and 0-8 or 8 and 16. Now the reason for that is because generally most alliances in the game actually have players from all over the world, and you have to make a judgment call on where the majority of your players in your alliance are, because activity is absolutely key in wanting to win a Reign of Chaos Total War battle, as those of you who are now reached S3 should know. So you want to choose in your truce time, say it's the majority of your players are European, and like I am, and right now reset for me is 2 a.m. in the morning. So how many people are you actually going to get staying up from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning when they probably, a lot of them have work that day? Not a lot. So what you will choose is probably +8, and hope that those players can then play while they're at work, or it might be their day off. But it's likely to be, say, around 10 a.m. to midday in Europe, and then for Russian and Asian players, it's going to be afternoon, maybe early evening for them. Unfortunately, that time is not great for the Americas, because obviously it is going to be very early in the morning. It's going to be 5 a.m., probably 5 a.m. for East Coast, and then 3 a.m. for West Coast, Midwest. So you make a judgment call based on who is available in terms of the maximum availability. Once you've done that, now you will have players in your alliance who can't make the battles, and this is where garrison bases come in. Players can actually send troops to the coalition march at your alliance center, and these troops, whatever legions you send to the coalition, will then become available for your garrison masters to control, and I'm going to show you more about that later in the video. So first off, I just want to switch out of, now I've kind of shown you the functionality for an R5 of how you can actually allocate players a garrison base. We're going to switch into Ponchuka and see how you actually build a garrison base and just the specifics around that. So bear with me a second while I switch into Ponchuka. So here we are in Ponchuka, and as I talked about in the first part of the video, you can use a garrison base to link tiles on a map. So how would you actually locate a garrison base first? Well, the key point with this is that you have to place it adjacent to one of your alliance's tiles that's already in place, and you can't always place a garrison base down. It depends on if there are marauders or resource tiles in the way. To actually place the garrison base in the first place, so for you alliance masters, if you click on the build icon in the map screen, you'll then see you actually have a garrison base option for building. So you click on that, and then down the bottom here you just drag the icon onto the map, and then you'll see that it will, if it doesn't like where you're trying to locate it, it will be in red, and then as soon as you get a adjacent tile and it's a nice clear area, you can click OK. Click the tick to place it. Now you'll see here at the bottom it costs you 1,000 stone each time you place the garrison base. But if you look up the top here, now this is not Ponchuka's stone reserve. I don't have 790,000 stone in this one account. This actually is your alliance's stone reserve, and every time any of the garrison base coalition masters place the garrison base, they're using stone from your alliance total, not their own personal castle total. So that is why you don't have to really worry about placing it, as long as you are players in your alliance are donating to that stone total. And for those of you that hadn't realized this, you might have seen your stone total going down in increments of 1,000. This is why. So we're going to try and place the garrison base here. So build this here, consume 1,000 stone block. And then it teleports in, similar to like a castle would. And you can see that it has a 5-minute cooldown until the building is actually built. So you can't use the building until it hits that 5-minute timer. Now it also has a 5-minute cooldown to demolish it. So you can, once it's built, there will be an icon here that says demolish, and then that will give you the option to demolish, and then you can place it somewhere else again. So that is how the garrison base works in terms of placing it. Now, you can place a garrison base in an enemy state if you want to move around that state, as I say, for the function of trying to connect other tiles. So like, for instance, if I was trying to get this number 4, but I didn't have a spare tile, I've placed my garrison base and it will let me occupy that tile. Well, if I don't, if I'd occupied a level 2 tile in this account. So whenever you have garrison bases, it is really helpful for saving your stamina. But you won't. The only time you can actually use them for holding troops is in your own state. And the reason for that is because, as I've talked about, your garrison base is linked to your alliance center. And now we're going to switch into Pond Farm 2 to actually see the functionality of troops in the coalition and how that all works. So just bear with me a second as we move over into Pond Farm 2. So here we are in Pond Farm 2, guys. And Pond Farm 2 is the coalition master for the BOW Alliance Center 1's garrison base. Now, when you click on the Alliance Center, you'll see that you will have a Join Coalition icon. All accounts will have this icon, and you'll also have a Garrison icon. Now, if you click on the Garrison icon, both for the AC1 and for a Garrison base, that is, or the station in this for the Garrison base, that is, when you're doing those, that is just to protect the building itself, the structure itself. If you're a player who can't make a total war because it's in the middle of the night for you, but you want the coalition commander to be able to use your troops, then what you need to do is click on Join Coalition and then select the troop type, the legion that you want to send. Now, you can send multiple legions, but obviously, if you think about it, if you're wanting to help protect each alliance center, you might want to send one legion to each of the 4 alliance centers. So you can see this troop is currently marching its way over to AC1. Now, if you are a coalition commander in charge of the base, if we click on View Details, you can see that there are some troops that are just garrisoned in the Alliance Center. I just put them in there as an example, and you should probably already know you can have 5 troops garrisoning your AC. Now, on the right hand side, you have Marching Coalition. Now, initially you start with 10 slots available, so players can send a maximum of 10 legions to each Alliance Center if they're not being used. So if basically you could have 10 players send all 4 of their legions to each alliance if they're not able to play. Now, it does say here, upgrade alliance technology to increase coalition troop count. Now, I have looked everywhere in alliance technology, and I can't see alliance technology that references marching coalition, or coalition troop count. So I'm wondering if this is one of the elements of the game that the developers put in place, but like the last researches for Master City Warfare and Master Defense, they don't actually have a function. And I think it's one of these scenarios where they haven't actually put a function to this element of it. So I can't really help with that. I think the maximum... now, of course, please put your comments in the comment section below if you know different, because I would love to hear it. But in my researching for the video, I haven't been able to find it out. And then, as a coalition commander, you can actually then click on this coalition settings page, which is then going to allow you to configure the legions that you're actually going to have in the coalition. So you'll be able to choose from any, say if you've got 10 legions available in the marching coalition menu, then you can choose any of those 10 legions to use in your coalition settings. Now, you can see here that we actually have 4 legions available, and then there is supposedly the option to configure teams to change raider class, become the overseer, and research corresponding technologies to unlock more queues. Again, I'm not sure how you can do that exactly. One option that is available if we go into the Reign of Chaos menu is if you go to Specialization and Red Specialization, you'll see up the top here this Coalition Commander skill at the top of Red Combat. It does allow you to increase your Coalition Troop Command cap by 1. So you can gain 1 legion into your Coalition Command structure if you have this skill available in your speciality menu. So that is just one thing to note if you're wondering about that. Now, in the now you've got, let's go back into the menu, coalition settings. Now, there are 2 options down the bottom here. You'll see that we have remove and repatriate. So if you click to repatriate, that will send the legion back to the to its castle, to its home castle. If you click remove, it will remove the troop from the coalition marching. Now, you'll see that it says your main troop isn't in the alliance center, and that's because currently I've actually got the troops in the garrison base. So you can move your coalition marching between both the alliance center and the garrison base. So to do that, you have an adjust button on the right here. You click on adjust, and you can ask it, you can see that it says the coalition location is at the garrison base. So you can click return and then just click on adjust, and then the troops are going to move back to the alliance center. Now you're going to want to do this maybe if your alliance center is under attack and you want your troops to be closer to the alliance center for marching and defending, or if you want to change, you're not happy with the selections you've made in your marching coalition and you want to select some of the other legions that are available to you. So let's just wait for this for the marching coalition to get back into the alliance center, and we'll go back into the menus for coalitions. And then the troops have returned. So now it will allow me to remove the legions from the coalition setting. And then just to simply add again, you just click on the add and it will give you the options of all the troops, all the legions that are available to you. So you can just add as many or few as you want. So we've added 4 in this occasion. So that is how you can change troops in and out. Now, we're going to keep them in the alliance center for now, but if you can, obviously, if you wanted to move them back to the garrison base, all you'd have to do is click on that adjust and then click adjust to send them back to the garrison base. Now, how do you actually, we've got these 4 legions in our coalition. Now, how do we actually use them? Well, as a coalition commander, if you click on the map, so let's just click on this empty tile here, you can see that you have the option for coalition occupation. So we can click on coalition occupation. Now, depending on how many troops you have, and as we've seen, you can have up to a maximum of 6, you'll now be able to basically preset the actions that you're going to take. So this is going to be helpful, for instance, if your AC is under attack and you're trying to take back multiple enemy tiles at the same time. It will allow you to select 4 different tiles. If you've got 4 legions, it will let you select 4 tiles. If you've got 6, it will allow you to select 6. And it will show you here, you can see on the map that we have these green tiles. And this is basically the routes that you can take with your 4 legions marching. So you can see that the first tile that we selected is for number 1. And then you can actually down here select which legion you want to go next. So, and if you click on, if you can't remember who's where, you can click on this icon here and it will tell you which legions you've got in each of the slots. So we've got footmen. If you needed to act quickly, for instance, I would say, oh, I've got footmen in number 2. I want to use this Ragnar Ava army selection because cavalry are quicker. So I'm going to ask the 3rd legion to act next. And we're going to put them there, and then we're going to select the 4th there, and then the last legion, being footmen the slowest, we're going to ask them to go there. So this is then going to map out the route, the actions that your coalition team do, and obviously, as you can see, it's going to start there and move its way across. And basically, once you click marks, you'll see you've got your flags here. It will show you which legion is going to which tile, and it will just basically go through that operation for you, and you can go back to maybe using your own legions while they're doing that. Once all of the legions have marched, you can then select your next action. So you can see while they are marching, you can still have the icon available to you for coalition location, but it will say that the coalition are marching and you can't perform the action. There we go, guys. That is the garrison base. I hope this video has been informative for you. I've done as much research as I possibly could to understand the functionality of the garrison base. I know this has been one of the most popular requests on my channel since I started to do a video on the garrison base. So I hope all of you out there do have a much better understanding. And of course, if you do have any further questions, please do pop them in the comments section down below. And either myself or another experienced player will hopefully be able to answer your queries for you. And if you could please share this video in your Alliance chat, Province chat, and through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, that would be very much appreciated. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.